Hey, is the race over? It's BT with the BT Motorrad van Austria GP. Man, I'm still getting the sleepies out of my eyes from that GP. Let's just be honest. It wasn't our shining moment. It really wasn't. I know F1 still thinks they're the shit, but I mean, after that GP, you go, The MVP for the weekend is the director of the race coverage, because he goes, you know what, listen, Pecco's running off. Let's see what Mark Marquez is doing. He's always fucking shit up, and I'd be damn. What was Mark doing? Fucking shit up. Poor Frankie Morbidello. After the race, Frankie was like, you know, I think what Mark was doing, I think was, and Mark was like, of course, I had trouble with the right device, so I went right, I popped to Frankie, that made no hitting. That's my Mark Marquez, and that's my Frankie. Anyway, but the great thing about race weekend, even though it's a boring MotoGP race, Moto 3, nothing will wake you up quicker other than a 6 a.m. no-knock warrant, is Moto 3. What David Alonso is doing in Moto 3 is incredible. If you guys get a chance, just go back and watch the last 3 laps of Moto 3. Just watch the last 3 laps. Dave Alonso from Colombia, the little El Nino, he's doing it, man. Little Pico, little Poquino, El Nino. He's doing the damn thing. And he had a little dance after the race. Reminds you of Mark Marquez. He's a Mark Marquez fan, and Mark likes him. That little dance he did after the race it's reminiscent of Marquez, man. I'm telling you, that kid, the way he's doing, he could be in the Olympics with that dance. I mean, you see what they did with breakdancing. Anyway, he's second all-time wins in Moto 3. Second. He's only 18. All-time wins in Moto 3. Number one, I mean, think about it. Between Brad Binder, Mark Marquez, Bender, Marquez, who else had to go? Johan Mir. He's second all-time wins in Moto 3. Number one is Romano. Hey, is that a brake lever? Fanati. That's saying something. If you guys get a chance, watch Moto 3 and watch David Alonso. Moto 2, does anybody want to win Moto 2? Let's just be honest here. Rider of the race, Moto 2, Celestino Vietti. Heartbreak goes to Sergio, the little babyface assassin Jr., because number one was Mark Marquez. You follow me forever. Remember, the original is Mark Marquez. But part 2, Sergio Garcia, the babyface assassin, he could have really put a little dent in the championship, and he didn't. His teammate who's leading the championship, gets hurt. His only crash, and he gets hurt. And you know what? It's like the Titanic. Your maiden voyage, and you hit something and you sink. That's what it's like. It's like his first crash, and oh, I'm out for the race. His first crash. He's the Titanic of motorcycle racing. Anyway, but listen. And by the way, is Ducati having rider's remorse here? Because where's Fermin Aldeguer? What happened to him? Did he testify against Boeing somewhere? Listen. This guy is going to Ducati next year, and they can't find him. He's MIA. I mean, that's not, but he's still only 50 points out. Granted, he and Jake Dixon, who scored more points in the last 4 races than anybody, they still can win it. They got to run the table and have a little luck go their way, but still, it can happen. But I'm just saying, Fermin Aldeguer is not looking good. Jake Dixon, watch out for Jake Dixon, man. He's doing the damn thing. So props to him. Heartbreak, Sergio Garcia. Rider of the race goes to Celestino Vietti. I like him, man. Good for Celestino Vietti. Good for him. Great race by him. Let's get to MotoGP. Like I said, man, listen. Pecco's just on another level, and it's not his fault. I hear people bitching about the Ducati lockout. What Ducati's doing is bad for racing. Hey, step your game up, other people. Honda and Yamaha at this point, just combine your factories. Just combine your garages. Just come up with a bike that combines both. Come up with a Yamanda. How about that? It's half Yamaha, half Honda. A Yamanda. You have Johan Mir and Fabio be on the same team. And trade colors. I don't know. Do something. Go to a science fair for high schools and pick out engineers and give me an intern. I mean, let's just be honest here. Step up your game. In anything where somebody's dominating, what you got to do, if you're a winner, you find a way to beat them. If you got to cheat, cheat. Look what Barry Bonds did. Oh, Mark McGwire, you hit 72 home runs? I'll be right back. I'm ready to play baseball. And that's what he did. He cheated, but still he's a home run leader. And that's what you got to do. Go listen, for every high school kid who downloads porn or who has an AK-47 sleeping with, like, today's going to be the day. There's one high school kid who's going, you know what? How fast can I make this bike go, a motorcycle go? Find that kid. He's on the internet somewhere. Find it. Like I said, go to a science fair. Go somewhere. They're out there. That's what they need to do. So before people start bitching about Ducati, Ducati's doing what, hey, there was a time when they sucked, but you know what they did? They kept at it, and now they dominate. So, hey, nobody was talking about a Honda lockout, or how about those boring-ass races with Lorenzo? Remember when he was with Yamaha? People bitched then? So, yeah, it's Ducati's time. So let them dominate. Have other teams step their shit up. Look at Red Bull. I mean, you got beat your own backyard by Ducati. Your own backyard. You're usually competitive. No offense. I mean, I love Brad Binder. I think he's great. I really do. But man, your star is Pedro Acosta. This kid as a rookie, he's a 20-year-old rookie. He could have been in Ibiza on the beach sipping pina coladas, doing what 20-year-olds do. Instead, he went to the factory saying, hey, what can we do to make this bike better? I mean, damn, listen, I will drink a whole case of that shit if that meant that it was going to be competitive racing. I'm being dead serious. By the way, how much money does KTM have? And by the way, that I'm on it, Pecco's on another level. It's a two-man race. Let's be honest. It's Pecco and Jorge Martin. Let me digress for real. Look, how do you cut your thumb so bad in a shower that it needs to be wrapped? How do you cut your thumb in a shower? In a shower with wet stuff. That's like breaking your leg swimming. I mean, like, how do you do that? I'm puzzled. I mean, listen, even if you manscape, I understand if you have a little cut and you manscape. Actually, I don't. I mean, I've never been cut in the shower other than, the head and a little nick, like, oh. But the point where you're like, you almost sever your thumb off. Okay, I'm being dramatic, but still, anybody, please answer me in the comments. How do you cut your thumb in the shower? And the explanation he gave. Look at me. This is my black woman face when you lie to her. Anyway, it's a two-man race, and Pecco's just on another level. Honestly, if Marc Marquez showed up in a GS Gulfstream 600, I still don't think they would have beat Pecco. I mean, he's on another level, but I will say this, so people who don't like Marc Marquez, have a neutral stance because he made that weekend. He really did. I'll say this before I say it again. Marc Marquez is the straw that stirs the drink. In the sprint race, when he could have played it safe, in the sprint race, when all he had to do was just stay where he was and maintain, he goes, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to try to catch Pecco. And he crashed. He could have played it safe and got a second, but he goes, wanting to win, if you can't appreciate somebody, it's like me when I used to hate on Tom Brady. Why? I hate Tom Brady. Now I start thinking, why? He tries to get better every year. People hate on LeBron. Why? They want to be better so much, they better their body. When they get old, when we get older, we all get fatter. That's just, okay? Those guys got better. I mean, was it drugs involved? PEDs? Who gives a shit? They want to be better when they get older instead of just gliding it in and fading to retirement. You got to love that. And what Marc Marquez is doing to actually go for it when you could have played it safe and got a podium in the sprint race, you got to love what he did. And, the ride had to bike. By the way, I don't know if you guys watched the very, 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 very beginning of Motogp coverage. If you're a dork like me, Marc Marquez is walking into his paddock and his mechanics literally ran him over because they broke the tire valve stem and the tire, and they literally ran him over, and Mark was like, and he goes, looked at him, and then he goes to his box, and then he gets on the grid, and his chief mechanic is running. That's not good. It's like being on a flight, and you're ready, to take off on the airplane, and your pilot is running up and down. You see him on the tarmac running, and he's pointing, and then he gets on and goes, all right, folks, are you ready to go? And you go, I'm gonna sit this now, house. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take a Greyhound. I'm good. That's not a good sign for him to compartmentalize that. And then you get dropped back to 14th and you come to 4th place. Luckily, the director, like I said, he's the MVP. The director said, you know what? We need to see what Marc Marquez is doing. And thank God, because it was beautiful what he was doing. I mean, he passed people cleanly, kind of. I mean, his elbow hit Jack Miller's tire. I mean, he could have played it safe. And what you got to give him credit. So anyway, Marc Marquez is my rider of the race, and he's my heartbreak. Just like Ivan Artola. Ivan Artola, he's my heartbreak, and he's my rider of the race. So you can get mad all you want to, but Marc Marquez made that weekend. He really did. Hey, we got Aragon coming up. Marc Marquez, that's his track, and I really think we might see him win. I don't know. But, if I was Ducati, here's what I would do right now. Just slip Marc Marquez a GP24. Just slip a GP24. Ain't nobody looking, right? If I was them, I would trade off Bastianini's bike. I'd give Bastianini's bike to Marc, and then Bastianini gets Marc's bike, and they paint them, and they don't tell him. I mean, Bastianini ain't coming back next year anyway. Anyway, what did you guys think of the GP? What did you guys think? I'm gonna give it the grade I give it a B plus because of the fight for the podium by Moto 2 and Moto 3. As far as MotoGP goes, hey, it happens. It really does. Let's hope Aragon's better, but it happens. Anyway, that's my take on it. The first one I did was like 15 minutes long, so it's way too long. So I condensed it. So anyway, Tim, what you think of the GP? What do you grade it? Like I said, I graded it B plus. And you can hate Marc Marquez all you want to, but hey, he's a straw that stirs the drink. Anyway, it's going to be interesting the rest of the year. Who can stop Pecco? You know what? At this point, I think only Pecco can stop Pecco. If Marquez is not on a GP 24 and he's not getting updates, only Pecco can stop Pecco. Anyway, tell me what you guys think. Yeah, this GP, there's something I'm missing. Paulo Espargo on the KTM. I think KTM found something with him. Props to Paulo Espargo. He still wants to race. You can tell. He does a great job commentating, but you can tell he's chomping at the bit to race. And he looked good in his leathers, man. He was into it. So props to Paulo Espargo, man. I kind of hope somebody picks him up. And honestly, what do you guys think of BMW being? They got to team up with somebody, but I like to see BMW come in. I like to see Raz Galiato come into MotoGP just to see what he can do. Put him on a MotoGP bike. That's what I want to see. You know, we need some new stimuli. Anyway, that's it. Tell me what you guys think. B plus. I give it a B plus. Tell me what you think. Who was your rider of the race? Who was your MVP? Tell me what you think. Again, thanks for watching. And you know how I do about this time. You know the word. Bye.